Shalom, shalom, mishpocha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. Today I'm going to be talking about the Crippled God. Today was one of those rainy days, and I didn't have any clients. And so to catch up on some research and some work regarding my the therapy I do with autistic children, I watched some videos about autistic kids and about autism, and then my mind started drifting towards more spiritual things, because a lot of times autistic kids, autistic people, they're considered handicapped. Some autistic kids have a form of mental retardation on top of their autism. Some of them have a really hard time manipulating their body, where their brain is telling their body to do something and it just doesn't work right. Sometimes, they have a hard time processing information, and it's like their circuits overload. So thinking about this, I started thinking about handicaps, and then I started thinking about disabilities, and then my thoughts moved more to the spiritual realm, and then I started thinking of the body of Messiah. Now, for those who are Nazarene, Messianic, Torah-observant believers, we can all agree that the Brit Chadesha, the renewed covenant, New Testament, Rav Sha'ul talks a lot about the body of Mashiach and how we are, as members, as Torah-observant believers, walking in the footsteps of Yeshua our Messiah by walking and following the Torah, that us collectively are called the body of Messiah. We know that Yeshua came as an emanation from Yahweh himself, and therefore he was like Yahweh in the flesh, because Yochanan 1 and Yochanan 17, John 1 and John 17, tell us that Yeshua and Yahweh are one. They're one and the same. And so Yeshua is just a physical manifestation of Yahweh and a physical manifestation of the written Torah. So when Yeshua was executed, died on the execution stake on the cross, was buried, resurrected, eventually ascended, and now is at the right hand of Yahweh, we as believers have been labeled the body of Mashiach. We are, in essence, Yeshua's ambassadors. We are living representations of Yeshua, because Yahweh is molding us and shaping us and refining us into the image of Mashiach by refining us through fire, like precious metals, gold and silver, how they're refined in the fire. And we go through trials and tribulations, and those trials and tribulations are like the fire underneath the kettle that's turning us precious metals into molten metal, and all the impurities that are locked in this solid piece of metal has become liquefied, and they float up to the surface, and the refiner, which is Yahweh himself, scoops off the dross and the scum, and he knows that we've been refined, and he knows that when we're ready is when he can look into us and see the reflection of Mashiach in us. So we are the body of Mashiach. Now, us being the body of Mashiach, and Yeshua being Yahweh in the flesh, Yeshua and Yahweh being one and the same, I thought, you know what? Not only with our free will are we more powerful than Satan in the fact that we can dethrone God. Hasatan himself, Lucifer, couldn't dethrone God. But we, because of our free will, can dethrone God, because his throne is now in our hearts. And we have the choice whether to allow Yahweh to sit on the throne of our hearts and rule and reign there. Or we can say, no, we want to do it our way. We want to be the king of our own domain, king of the hill, and we can knock God off of his throne and sit down on it ourselves. And Hasatan can't do that. But kind of lost my train of thought there, got off on a little rabbit trail. But as far as being the body of Messiah, the body of Mashiach, we represent Yeshua. We represent, we are supposed to be living examples of Yeshua. And if, it's almost like we can make God handicapped. Because if people see God in us and see Yeshua in us, we have that ability not only to dethrone God, but we have the ability to make God a cripple, to make God a handicap. I don't have to recite to you all the different passages in the Brit Chadasha where Rav Sha'ul and others talk about us being a body. When has the foot ever said to the leg, I don't need you? Or when has the, ear ever said to the eye, I have no need of you, get away from me? And how every part of the body is an intricate member, and it doesn't matter if you're a pinky toe or a pinky finger, or if you're an eyebrow or a nostril, or whatever part of the body you are, you serve an essential purpose. And when we are not all echad, just like Yeshua and God are echad, they're one in plurality. When we believers do not unite together, and we are not echad, when we are not one in plurality, and we try to exalt one body part over another, or we try to upstage the other, or if we are called to be eyes, we try to be ears, or if we're called to be feet, we try to be hands, and we make God autistic. Because, we're processing this information as the body of Messiah, and we're trying to react to these things, and trying to relay the message of Torah, relay the message of Yeshua, relay the message of the gospel, yet because the hand wants to be the foot, we start standing on our hands. Or because the eyes want to be the tongue, we start rubbing our eyes against the floor. Or because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. For those who are the voice and we try to be the ears, we make God mute. For those who are the ears trying to be a voice, we make God's word unintelligible. We make God a cripple because we're not united, because we're not serving our respective places and know our places within the body of Messiah. Many of us, you ask them, what's your spiritual gifts? Oh, I don't know. Half of the people don't know. More than half don't know what their spiritual gifts are. Half of them don't even know what their calling is in Messiah, what they're supposed to be doing in the kingdom, what they're supposed to be doing now. I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I've known it for years, and I'm doing my best to fulfill my calling, to be that part of the body of Messiah to the best of my ability. But you know what? When the outside world sees us believers, they look at us like we're freaks of nature. Like we're crippled, like we are a burden to society, like we are mentally handicapped, like we're mentally retarded, like we're autistic, like we're physically handicapped. Why? Because we're fighting with one another all the time. And when we're always trying to be something that we're not supposed to be, and we're not staying in our respective places, and we're not fulfilling the calling, the universal and individual calling that Yahweh has placed upon our hearts and upon our lives and upon our minds, and we make God a cripple because we are not acting as a body. We're not moving fluidly. We're not walking. We're not talking. We're not being Messiah's hands and feet extended. I think of the song Casting Crowns. If we are the body, why aren't his arms moving? Why aren't his feet going? Why aren't his arms reaching? And why aren't we ministering? People, we need to find out where our places are, and we need, that's part of being humble. That's part of being a person after God's own heart. That's a part of being echad within the body of Messiah, is to knowing our respective places, knowing where our boundaries are, and not try to do something that we're not supposed to do. There's some people who have a ministry reaching out to young people. There's some people who have a ministry reaching out to the elderly. There's some people who have a ministry reaching out to Muslims. There's people who have a ministry reaching out to Christians. There's people who have a ministry reaching out to whatever. And some of them are in media, some of them are in videos, some of them are in books, and some of them are down and dirty, helping the homeless on the street. But you know what? All those things may not be your bag, may not be my bag, may not be your cup of tea or my cup of tea. But we have to find out where our places are within the body so that we can be echad, so that we can make the body of Messiah, the representation of Messiah on earth, strong, solid, working together in unity and working fluid, so that we do not make Yahweh, we do not make Yeshua a crippled God. Shalom and Shavua Tov Mishpocha.